All right, hi everybody. We got a little group meeting here. We got Sophie in Little Cleveland, aka Naples, Florida. How you doing, Sophie?
I am doing well, Mike. How are you?
Good. And Brooke, and we got Amari, and we got our new guy Liam, aka Grasshopper. He's learning about he's learning about city government. That's exciting, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. all your all the stuff you learned at Shaker civic government's going out the window now.
There you go.
Okay. All right. So all right. So tell me, Sophie, let's start out with you. I won't put you on the spot. So okay, bring us up to speed on what your take on Project Wrath is.
I think it's much needed, not just in Cleveland Heights, but there are a lot of cities outside of Cleveland, the first round suburbs, that have a lot of vacant properties that have not, or even sometimes rented properties that are not being kept up. And they really affect the neighborhoods, the value of the properties, how people feel about their neighborhoods as a whole. And I think it's past time for those properties to be addressed, whether the city's working with the homeowners. I know sometimes some of those people are much older and need some assistance in how to get things done, but for the most part, it just needs to be done. We have too many properties that are just eyesores.
Right. Let me blow one myth up uh, about bad houses, vacant houses. They are not very, very few, like maybe 1% are owned by elderly people who can't take care of their house. Okay. I know because we've been doing this for 50 years and the last 20 years, ever since the crash in '08, we have just seen a blight of bad houses. We are working with our customers through Riley Painting and Contracting, who are next door or across the street. Through Riley Properties, we're often called by property managers. This happened with our Grayton property. They are owned by an Australian investor group who got upside down with an incompetent property management. They lost their shirts on this. We ended up managing it for a short time, and then we bought them out. You have about 4 or 5 different groups of people that contribute to the bad houses. The first are the bad landlords, out of state landlords who don't really care, who think Cleveland Heights is basically a ghetto, literally. Two, you have people that bought a house who are want to be the next millionaire landlords, and of course, after about 3 or 4 months, they walk away. Um, who do you see? I just got two out of the, let's say, 5 boxes. Can you add another box that you see in your business, Sophie?
Yeah, we do have people who just don't take care of their properties. We see that on the, not just the outside, but the inside. Some
I'll
of the
give you that.
properties we go into, it's just, you live here and you let it get to this condition. And so there are some people, I don't know if some of it is definitely mental health. It's gotten to that level where there's something wrong, but for the most part, different people have different standards. And that's why we have housing codes so that, you hold people accountable to a minimum standard for keeping up at least the exterior of their property.
Right, right. Like how about now, no garbage on the front yards? Just
Yeah,
a little
wouldn't that be
thing.
nice?
That'd be nice.
Hmm.
So, all right. So that's number three. They really don't. They're kind of hillbillies squatting in Cleveland Heights. Or they don't care anymore. How about box number 4, Brooke?
What about a family member who's either passed away or in a senior care
Bingo. That's huge.
and the
Want to
house?
elaborate?
Yeah, and like the house is, you know, the decisions of the house are made between the the children of the homeowner. So maybe you got some cases where those siblings are fighting, about what to do. Maybe it's someone who's just by themselves and they're out of town and they just don't have the time to try to manage that.
Okay. I bet you see a lot of that, Sophie, the estate sales.
Yeah, so we do see that and you're right, the kids are fighting and then their spouses as well. And, trying to get them to make a decision sometimes is a little slower. Um, and sometimes they're not anywhere near here. They don't know the state that the house is in. I've bought a house like that, where the parents went to a nursing home and the kids showed up thinking the house was going to be worth a lot. And they were like, wow, it's been a long time since anybody's done anything to this house. So yeah, you do have that. I think you also have people who have gotten themselves into some kind of financial trouble. And so they're not super concerned about mowing the lawn and maintaining the chip paint on the exterior.
Okay, so we got box number 4. We've got a family estate. I'm gonna put box number 5, which is you could probably say it's box number 4, but that's where you have the idiot nephew who inherits the house. He's the sole owner. He's out of state and he doesn't know what he's doing. And after a while, he doesn't care. So the problem is with the city of Cleveland Heights and all the different housing boards, committees that I've sat on over the last 20 years, is they keep going back. They keep coming up with solutions that are just not in the real world. First of all, these people are not going to do anything until you put heat on them. And the heat has to be applied consistently across the city. I'm not talking about we need to have every lawn manicured and like a putting green. I'm just talking about the basic level of care for the outside of the house. No garbage in the front yard. Shutters not hanging by a thread.
Well, it's funny, like you see, like some of my TikTok feeds are encounters of really nice homes with some like crazy HOA member walking around with like a measuring tape saying your hedges are too high.
Yeah, I mean, that's Hollywood. That's not true.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
No, it's true because it's like real footage. Like I would kill for something like that.
Yeah.
But that's the most frustrating part is that you get cited by the city for a point of sale or violations on a house that is in really great condition, and yet the city isn't going after a vacant lot that is infested with rats, and the rats might be going to the homeowner in the backyard.
Are you talking about your house?
Yeah.
You got that vacant lot behind you.
Yeah, I had to call my exterminator this morning because, true story, a mouse was crawling on my couch last night, and my wife is 5 months pregnant, and let's just say she was not very happy. And I called the exterminator and he was like, we'll be out ASAP. But that's like a real life example of what some of these total disasters of homes or vacant lots are doing to the people.
Oh, I see that all the time. A vacant house is a home for wildlife. It's not just a mouse. It's a rat. It's raccoons. I mean, all of God's small creatures are in this house. Okay. And why wouldn't they be? It's, nobody's in, there's lots of access points down the chimney, basement windows, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, it's a health hazard. Yeah. And yet, you know what? You've got to ask yourself, why is this not being addressed? What is in the water here in Cleveland Heights? There's a podcast I did with new council member Tony Kuda. 4 years ago, we were talking about this. I think, he was up here. We were doing, then we ran into a dysfunctional mayor. You got nonprofits. I said this in the last podcast. You got nonprofits who are having listening tours in Cleveland Heights. People are screaming at them about this problem. So to me, Project RATH, RATH, Project RATH, and Mari, you can throw up some of the videos we've been taking, some of these houses, okay, on TikTok. Project RATH is saying we are not waiting anymore. We're not studying, we're not meeting, we're not having a subcommittee. We're just going to go out there and we're going to target. Right now, we've targeted 6 properties. 6 properties for the month of May. Follow us on our YouTube and our TikTok channel. Liam's got 6. Letters going out, followed up by an email. We want action now. And then we're going to build out on that. There's a great line in Lawrence of Arabia, by one of my all-time favorite movies, where Lawrence tells Omar Sharif, he says, we're going to go and attack Aqaba from the back because the guns pointed to the Red Sea or whatever. They're going to come out of the Nephew Desert. And he says, if 50 men come out of the Nephew Desert, 50 more will join, then 50 more, and it'll multiply. The more success stories we have that we chronicle, the more people are going to want to be part of Project RATH. All I got to do as the word gets out is send us the address of your house and we will bring the heat to it. Literally, the heat. No more hiding, no more studying, no more vows that, I don't want to see these campaign flyers going out every November that housing is important. It's all bullshit. Never gets done. This time, starting right now, it's going to happen. What do you think, Sophie?
I think that's great. And I think you're right. I think that's, government is inefficient. That's just the nature of government. And when you do have citizens who kind of keep their feet to the fire, I think that's when things get done. But otherwise, you're right. They're very happy having meetings and agreeing that a decision needs to be made. Next meeting.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I just read that Cuyahoga County has $25 million in unpaid property taxes.
Oh, yeah. City of Cleveland is starting to foreclose.
Million. How do you get to 25 million? How do you get?
I have a lady who called me to see if I could sell her house. She's in the situation that you're talking about. She got a letter that they're foreclosing on her home, and she wants to know if I could just sell it before they take it. And I did a research of her title, and I noticed she hasn't paid her property taxes in over 6 years.
Yeah.
And now she owes what the house is worth.
How does it get to 6 years? In fact, you wanted to, Amari, throw up the picture on our YouTube channel of the Walden House in Forest Hill. The Walden House, to my horror, when I lived in Forest Hill, the Walden House had been vacant for 10 years. This was a beautiful, postmodern house built in the 50s during Forest Hill's glory days. Custom built. And of course, what happened, the people who lived there, who built the house, they died. There's nobody there. There's nobody, it just sat there and sat there and sat there and sat there. Meanwhile, the county kept piling on property taxes. $7,000 every year. 10 years. You want to guess why that couldn't sell? Because the county wanted $70,000 for a house that by that time was worth $5,000. Who's going to buy that? Now I want to know who is in charge of that. Who got their master's in urban planning, who's running that department, who can't put 2 and 2 together? So when you ask the fundamental question, Why has this house been sitting there rat infested for 10 years? Why is it sitting there for 10 years? And the answer you come up with, incompetence, nobody cares, people go through the motions, another meeting, another speech, another flyer. Every November, we're going to take care of housing. And this is why the city of Cleveland Heights underperforms. Period. Noble Road, north of Mayfield, a disaster. No retail. Severance, vacant for 10 years. I was showing Amari, Sophie, that great scene in the movie Network. I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. Now, you may have been a teenager or in preschool then when that came out. Came out in 78, so do the math. Okay, you weren't born yet. Okay, I get
Yeah,
it.
I was born for sure.
But you were watching Sesame Street, not Network. I'm mad as hell. I'm not going to take it anymore. That's going to be the slogan underneath Project RATH. Put that in our new logo, Amari. Go ahead, Brooke.
Sophie, I'm just curious, are there any like neighborhoods, cities in Cleveland that you know of that has a good system in place for when houses are, in need of, like if there's like a car parked on like the tree lawn or like, can you think of any like examples where this isn't a
Probably
problem?
not in Cuyahoga County. Maybe if you're like in the Pepper Pike, Beechwood, right?
Yeah.
You might have that. But even Shaker, Shaker is tougher on homeowners than Cleveland Heights is. They will find people, but I think it's hit or miss. They're not systematic yet. They don't give them notices as often as they should, but once in a while they do. So I don't know of a city that's doing it really well.
Okay. I was just curious if there was, but I mean, the ones that I suspected, like the Gates Mills, Pepper Pike, Hunting Valley, I'm sure if, a car was parked on the front lawn for more than a couple days.
100%.
So,
Well, it's like New York. I know I talked about this in our last podcast. New York in the 70s, subways filled with graffiti. People said, well, that's what happens when you live in a urban city. No, that doesn't. There is a mindset here, which is you're just getting used to certain neighborhoods looking like they do. It is really tragic when you think about all my customers north of Mayfield in Noble taking care of their houses. They've called the city. They've called the city for years, and nothing's happened. Just goes in, one out there. We have that mayor's hotline. Anybody, I remember a couple times last year asking people in council, anybody monitoring whether the mayor's hotline is getting anything done? And then you read the Heights Observer. The Heights Observer, it's endless commentary about what should be done. There's no plan. It's just talk. Endless talk. If we could bottle or trademark the ability to talk about a problem, Cleveland Heights, it'd be like pumping oil here, right? We specialize in talk and study and academia, not like this house is garbage, clean it up now or you get fined. I don't know. I don't understand why that is so difficult. Call it a speed trap. Have guys just driving around. They see, hey, you got 30 days to clean this up. Put their name down. Drive by day 31. If it's not cleaned, the meter's running, right?
They
In
do
my-
have an inspector who drives around, and his sole job is to identify people who are doing work without a permit.
Yeah.
And typically it's roofs, right? Because he can't go inside the house. So he, sees, oh, there's a roof going on here. Did they pull the permit? And so he pays attention to that. But you're right. I think that much more than pulling permits, they need to pay attention to which homes are completely neglected.
I got another great idea, and this is something we're going to bring in Project RATH. I got it, and maybe we can AI a little demo. You take a vacant house, you plop a sign in front of it. Sign has a QR code. The sign says the city of Cleveland Heights has now put this on its problem list or targeted list, whatever you want to call it, bad house list. Follow the progress on this website. You can literally go to the website, type in the address of the home, and there it is. And it'll tell you exactly where this is. The landlord has been notified. They're on the clock. They have 30 days to clean it up. Or the news would be we posted this on the watch list on April 15th. By May 15th, we are going to take this house to court and begin foreclosure. Meanwhile, we're sending a crew or a landscaping company to do immediate cleanup on this house. It would rally the street. It would rally the neighborhood, and it would also, for those people looking to buy on that street, saying this street is on the move up, not stagnating or dropping in property value. What do you think about that, Brooke? That vacant sign and that vacant lot behind you.
Yeah, I don't know how long the sign would last, but I think it would definitely get people's attention.
Certainly the neighbors.
Yeah, it's like what I think we're asking for isn't, we're not asking for pristine paint job or, a beautiful garden and beautiful tree lawn and all that stuff. I mean, I think we're just asking for like the minimum here.
Right.
Cut your grass. If a gutter has fallen off the side of the house, put it back up. I mean, I drive past, there's an apartment complex when I go to Stone Oven, and this gutter has been down since, I think, January. It's literally like hanging off the front. And I kind of like made a note every time I like drop my dogs off at, at daycare or pick up a sandwich for my wife, it's just like things still there. We're not asking for the moon here. We're asking for keeping your property well kept. And it's kind of like the thing, it's like you can't really like describe it, but when you see it, you just kind of like know it. Like, which houses you walk by when you're walking your dog or you're on a run where it's like, God, that house that's a bomb,
And all it would take is a phone call. That's what I learned when I was, the brief time before they fired me on standards at Forest Hill Homeowners Association. Talk about a group that did nothing except study and meet and send out a newsletter. But I remember I called a couple people and said, look, you got to clean this up. And they cleaned it up. It was not asking them to part the Red Sea.
Yeah, it's not rocket science.
Okay? So, I mean, and you know what? I am done being mystified by this. That's the thing about Project RATH. It is happening now. And we're going to demonstrate how you do it. And we are going to expect that as people get word of this success, they're going to contact us, like I said earlier. And we're going to go after the properties that we're adjacent to now. And we're going to tell them, look, You're going to court, buddy. You are going to court. We don't want to take you to court, but you are going to court. And then when we get to court, you know what we're going to do? In court, we're going to say, how long has this guy been going to court? And why am I back here again? Why is he back here again? You'd think he'd be on a probation list or something. You know, I'm sorry, box number 5? My bad. Let's put what was in box number 5 into box number 4. Did you know, and I said this earlier, box number 5, the deadbeat landlords? There are about 5 deadbeat landlords in Cleveland Heights. This is like a cartel of 5 bad landlords. They just buy these properties up, they rent them out like they're in the ghetto. That is their model. And you know what? Going to court for them is a cost of doing business. They'll do a Trump. They'll just keep stringing it out. Yes, Your Honor. Yes, we got a plan to fix this, etc., etc. It's part of the playbook. It's part of their business model. Now, is anybody bright enough to put 2 and 2 together that these people are up to their same old con? I mean, it's almost like, go ahead, Sophie.
The city has to follow up. It's the same thing with point of sale. Nobody likes the point of sale inspections when we are trying to sell a house. But oftentimes I've had clients who said, you know, I bought the property 2 years ago with open point of sale items. I haven't done it and nobody's followed up with me. So I'm just gonna wait it out and see if they ever say anything. And then I'll say, oops, I forgot. And there are some clients who are just like, it was 3 years ago. Nobody's following up with them. No one.
It's a staffing problem. All of this all comes down to a staffing problem, which means you've got to think outside the box. And let me talk as a business person here. Virtual assistants. We have 5 virtual assistants in the Philippines. Okay, you call up a problem with Amazon, Airbnb, ALE Solutions, a lot of these big national companies, you're talking to somebody in the Philippines. Cleveland Heights can do that. Cleveland Heights could staff up a whole desk of VAs for the cost of 1 person. You could have 5 dedicated, hardworking, and what you're paying them, you know, $15 an hour, is a godsend for them in the Philippines. You're paying a minimum wage here, and you're getting dedicated, hardworking people who want to do a great job working remotely, backing you up. Now, that begs the question: would the city be interested in doing that, or do they look at this is the old school 1970s, where you hire somebody out of college to do that instead of utilizing AI? I mean, Amari, you're our Brooke. Every time we turn around, we're using ChatGPT, right? You get AI managing what are we at? How many vacant houses, bad houses do we have? What is it, 2,000? What's the number, Liam?
Yeah, so it depends on kind of what you consider vacancy. When I asked the city of Cleveland, they gave me...
I'm talking Cleveland Heights, not Cleveland.
Oh, yeah, Cleveland Heights gave me 300. But then when you go on the county website, it says like about 2,200.
Yeah.
So we
got Baghdad Bob running the numbers here
right,
in Cleveland
exactly.
Heights.
The 2 houses that we were focusing on weren't even on that list of 300, and they had been vacant for 5 years.
Well, they buried the Novak report.
Sure.
You know the Novak report, Sophie? That came out 4 years ago. They hired Novak did all these suburbs. Cleveland Heights was number 1, baby. We were number 1 in bad vacant houses.
Yeah.
Guess what got buried? The Novak report. Okay, that got deep sixed. You know, that is nowhere to be found, and that's the problem. You can't fix a problem if you don't recognize it's a problem. If you recognize a problem and then you set a goal, in 3 months, we're going to have 100 of these homes taken care of. and then you get the process down. The word starts getting out in the community, the investor class, the bad landlords, whatever. No, man, you're not going to court. You are getting fined daily if this is not getting fixed. The word starts getting out. And then let's get back to how you can decorate, landscape a neighborhood. If everybody's taking care of their house, people will want to take care of their house, right?
100%.
Right?
100%. Yes, they say that if you see any trash, you're more likely to litter, right? So if you, whatever you see, you kind of emulate and replicate. And so you're right. If you start doing this and you start making them nicer and taking care of yards, other people will start doing the same thing.
That's what happened in Times Square. That's exactly what happened in Times Square in the 90s with Giuliani, who's, from what I understand, in intensive care. The clock's ticking on Giuliani. But back then, the mayor, when he was actually getting shit done, the mayor in the mid-90s, they went in and they cleaned up Times Square. All of a sudden, you had Disney coming in. And you know what some people in New York said? Oh, my God, look at it. They've Disneyfied Times Square. Oh, my God, how shocking is that? Oh, yeah, and look who they got rid of. The squeegee guys, the porn shops, the grifters, the pickpockets, stuff like that. Yeah. And, and that's what the average voter citizen wants. They, like you said, Brooke, they just want the basics, okay? No potholes. Call the cops, they're going to show up. Call the fire department, the EMC, they're going to show up, right? And I don't have to live next to a shitbox for 10 years with rats coming into my house, okay? Now, if you don't know how to fix it, you're not working here, okay? I mean, that's pretty simple. Am I missing something, Amari?
Nope.
Wow. Just call me Einstein, right?
It's funny, Sophie, you made a good point. Yesterday was a perfect example where I was out of town for the weekend. I hadn't cut my front yard. It didn't look bad, but my neighbors across the street, my neighbors next to me, they all keep their lawns in really good shape. And after work, I was like, I got to at least cut the front yard.
Yeah.
But that's just me. I think you're right. I think there's some people who they are just so oblivious. They get so used to living with a house that's just not well kept.
And all you got to do is tell them, you got to clean this up. I mean, I was amazed when I talked to our Grayton neighbor and put a picture up on Grayton 2, next door. This house has been vacant for 6 years. As long as we've owned it, it's been been vacant. Vacant on Grayton, okay. And it was, and like, who's the owner? Well, finally we put, I told that story, put a dumpster in his driveway 2 weeks ago. And he shows up, and it was one of the most enjoyable conversations I've had in a long time. Because Al called, and Al's a nice white guy. He lives in Euclid now. He probably lived there, 30 years, and he's in his 80s. And, of course, my foreman said, hey, the neighbor says, what do you got the dumpster in the driveway for? Because we were cleaning up his backyard, all that garbage and stuff. So I said, put him on. Al. He goes, hey, man, yeah, how you doing? Hey, what do you got the dumpster in? Why do you think, Al? Are you blind? Are you a blind man? Because I don't want to, I don't want to say anything that's going to be, DEI here. You go, no, I'm not blind. Well, take a look, man. I'm sick of looking at the garbage. Oh, yeah, I know. How come you haven't cleaned it up? And he said to me, rigor mortis. Never got around to it. Well, Al, I got to tell you something, Al. I live in this community, and I don't want these neighborhoods looking like a ghetto. You don't live here. I live here. Okay. And I need, and I'm not asking you, I'm telling you that it's going to be cleaned up. Now we can do it. We're happy to help. You don't know who to call. We can do it. We'll give you some numbers, but the clock's ticking and I need this cleaned up now.
And this is what the city needs, because neighbors, it shouldn't be the neighbor's job to talk to their neighbor about a house being in such bad condition.
You know the mentality of a bureaucrat? I remember there was one guy I heard on a talk show about 6, 7, 8 years ago. This was after the crash of '08. And then you started seeing just hundreds of these houses that were vacant. I mean, it was like the AIDS crisis hit some of these towns. And I remember people calling and said, hey, I've had to go over and cut the grass. And you know what one of these county officials said? He said, well, that's a great story. It shows how neighbors are pitching in to help maintain the neighborhood. I almost jumped into the radio. I was so mad. And I thought to myself, you knucklehead, this is your job to do, not the neighborhood. Don't give me this rah-rah, we're rallying the neighborhood. Get your ass in gear and find these people. Find these out-of-state banks. Find these out-of-state landlords or amateur flippers who don't know what they're doing. I don't care if the house on the inside's not done. I just don't want it. I don't want people driving up and down the street looking at, as you've seen, Liam, every other house looking bad. Poor Liam, he's he's like the young rookie cop, right? He's out there. You're like the young rookie. He's like, oh my God, I didn't know it was this bad.
I mean, that Randolph house almost put me on my ass.
Yeah.
That burnt out husk of a home was unbelievable.
This
I couldn't
house
believe it was there.
burned 3 years ago.
Yeah.
3 years ago. And it's sitting there. I don't even want to know if I know there's rats there, but we don't know what else is lurking in there. Could be a zombie, come back from the dead, I mean, they put that up on the YouTube, the Randolph house. So you go in front of some people and you say, what are you not doing here? Are we talking about Al the blind man? Is that what it is?
It doesn't feel like it with this one. This one is in a trust. There's no person attached to it.
Of course.
And they just have a mailing address. So it's a lot harder to get to them. Whereas with Al, he was solely
sorry, Liam. Yeah. Al is now in witness protection mode. Yeah. Trust me. Yeah. He now that we know where he's living, right, we're going to go talk to his wife.
Right.
Who probably said, good riddance, Al.
And at least we were able to talk to him. Thank goodness. Yeah.
Yeah, now he's in witness protection. No, hey, the trust, sometimes, a trust in the state, hey, just go ahead and, fine, here's where it is. We're taking you to court. They're not going to show up. We're going to win a judgment. Boom, done. Right. Whatever. Okay. The wheels of justice. How about a little eminent domain here? Eminent domain
knows how to get a hold of these owners, because when you buy a property and you're not going to own or occupy, whether it's in an LLC, a trust, your personal name, you have to give them your email address, your phone number, and your home address that cannot be a PO box. And so they know how to get a hold of you. It's that paper. Somebody probably stuffed it in a file. They don't know where to find it, or they're not paying any attention to how to find it. And so, but at the time of the sale, they had the owner's complete contact information.
Yeah, see, Sophie, you're going to be on our committee, right? Board of Governors, Board of Directors.
Yes.
That's now I know why you're going down to Naples all the.
Yeah.
I need a break. from the potholes. Okay. Although Cleveland Heights, kudos to Cleveland Heights, new mayor Jim Petrus.
Doing my street.
They're doing potholes. Good for them.
I know, finally.
And Mayor Jim was out there doing his snow plowing. He was with the trucks. They even threw some snow plows on some of their trucks that weren't getting used. Good. Hey, outside the box thinking. But people that want to join up with Project RATH, you know, maybe you're out of town, you grew up in Cleveland Heights, whatever. People want to be in charge of Project RATH. You know what we're going to do is we're going to assemble, you know, maybe 6 or 8 people, pitchforks, torches, hangman's noose. And we're going to go to some of these meetings. We're going to sit in with we're going to get it on video. We're going to say, why haven't you done anything to Randolph House? Okay? Little town hall time. Okay? And I want
It's a safety hazard.
Don't give me this like, well, it's a trust and it's hard and it's this and that. No, you're fired. You're fired. If you can't figure this out, you're fired. You're part of the problem. You're not part of the solution. You're enabling this. And the more people start accepting what their job responsibility is, your number one responsibility here is, I don't want to see any bad, vacant shitbox houses in this neighborhood. Go ahead, Amari.
Yeah, and also our website is live for Project RATH, projectrath.com. You can go there, fill out our email contact form. Let us know if you're running into any similar problems, or just join to stay updated on the progress we're making on, you know, the 6 homes we're going after right now. And, you know, we'll be posting on our TikTok.
You know what? This is going to be a great Netflix series. Really.
So
really. This is like CSI. Okay, we'll get some kind of house, you know.
It's interesting seeing, you know,
CSI Cleveland Heights.
Liam go through, you know, finding some of this owner contact information. It's like, why does this church own these 3 vacant homes like right next to each other? It starts to feel like a conspiracy at a certain point. It's like, what is going on here?
Yeah, follow the money.
Yeah, right.
Follow the money.
So, but you know, we've covered a lot with RATH. I know that, you know, Fairmount was another topic. I don't know if you want to make that a separate conversation. You know, but I think we should close up RATH.
Okay,
right
yeah, I get all wrapped up. It's like talking Cleveland Browns.
You could just go.
Brooke's like, oh my God. You're looking at your watch, Brooke.
I'm wrathed out.
You're wrathed out.
No,
Well,
but it's all good.
Hey, at least you're not like Fiona, my wife. Oof.
Well, hey, I'm on the clock. So.
Yeah, no wonder she was doing yoga. I gotta go do yoga now.
Inhale positive vibes, exhale RATH.
Okay, folks, we're gonna end it there. Mari's gonna have some plugs coming up. You got some great videos to watch on our YouTube. Let's end it there.
Sounds good.